Hey guys, what up? Total Control 871 chiming in with today's quick clip. Let's give a listen to South Bend's chapter of Black Lives Matter. They seem to be taking issue with presidential candidate Pete Buttigieg. I do not have a problem with that. I'm all for scrutiny and, for scrutiny and truth. Let's give a listen as to our advocate here and what they have to say.
When Mike first became mayor, he increased teacher salaries. He
Sorry.
increased the graduation rates by...
Every chair was full as South Bend's chapter of Black Lives Matter laid out their goals and initiatives for the upcoming year.
The biggest concern for us right now is really policing. We're really concerned about the fact that there's not a citizens review board.
The group that started back in 2016 has been growing louder in recent months as former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg campaigns for the White House.
It's really about just raising awareness around his record. We don't feel that there's been enough discussion around his record here in South Bend.
Black Lives Matter South Bend has been vocally opposed to Buttigieg since the police-involved shooting of Eric Logan over the summer that drew national attention to the city's police force. The group believes Buttigieg, quote, dropped the ball when it comes to police accountability.
We wanted the world to know that Mayor Pete hasn't had the best record here as mayor, and we wanted them to check the data, so it was educational for the rest of the world to find out exactly who he is behind that smile and that charismatic, charming personality.
Members like Catherine Redding have even followed the mayor on the campaign trail, interrupting some of his events. While they continue to speak out on Buttigieg's record, they're also focused on his successor.
There's a lot of injustice going around South Bend, and we're definitely ringing the bells on, holding everyone accountable at this time.
They say they're encouraged by Mayor James Mueller and hope to work with him on the expected police discipline matrix, but their message tonight was clear: they aren't going anywhere.
Okay. Here I am. All right, so our members of Black Lives Matter, the South Bend chapter, they seemed very intelligent, informed. As a matter of fact, I would like to discuss exactly how informed they are and to maybe, add to that information. Now, in our video clip, we heard things like they want to discuss the data and the record of police. Police accountability is what they're talking about. Hey, I'm all for it. As a matter of fact, I even made a comment about it. This is a quick clip, so I don't want to get too deep here. Let's see what your boy Total Control said. I don't know, it might tickle the ears of some cops. Maybe yes, maybe no. As you guys know, I am neither pro-law enforcement or anti-law enforcement. I simply speak truth and let the chips fall where they may. All right, I'm saying here, okay, fair enough, but if you're going to start throwing words around like data and record, can we also take a long, hard look at black crime data? I think it's very unfair for them to just simply want to talk about police misconduct, and police misconduct is a very real thing. It's a very real issue, a very real threat to minority lives, but we cannot simply gloss over black crime as if it doesn't exist. Interestingly enough, I had something of a nightmare when I woke up this morning. I dreamed that I was driving, of all things, somebody's car, and I was driving back to, I guess, their apartment, where I left, presumably. I don't really have a clear memory of doing it, but I left the black rider in their apartment to go with them in their car, and of course I come back and their door is wide open and the black rider is completely gone. Needless to say, I woke up gripped with fear, and I was never so happy to see the black rider sitting right where it belongs. Hey, baby, I love you. God forbid something like that actually happens. I cannot have an apathetic police response. I cannot have shoulder shrugging. I cannot have Sucks for you, guy. I need an active police response. Now, of course, I would not want, as much as I love my beloved bicycle, I would not want the police to go guns a-blazing. But one of the things that I do talk about here is that a lot of our advocacy groups, they do take a Captain Hindsight approach here. I've spoken with some of the police that I have like I said before in the live stream, or I tried to say, they'll kind of cut out, oddly enough. I have a decent rapport. I would not classify it as friendship, but it's a decent rapport with some of the police officers, one of them being Officer Leo Rudolph. I gave him the card, the get well card. And I was chit-chatting with him one day, and I was saying, because I want law enforcement to understand that I do my best to view their situation, their job from their perspective. These guys, I mean, I don't know. Is there a video? Take off your utility belt and put it on a scale, on one of those little hook scales or whatnot. Do you know how much weight they're carrying? They carry a lot of weight. Unfortunately, I could play you a clip right now of The Matrix where they go through the metal detector, and I mean the slow motion cartwheel flips. We've all seen The Matrix. If you haven't, go check it out. This shit is completely unrealistic, and it's pure fantasy. You're not going to be spry and agile. They have their bulletproof vests, and that bulletproof vest, while it may save their life, it also adds weight to any ability, weight, and restricts movement and all that jazz. So I fully understand police's, where they're coming from. When you approach a suspect vehicle, they say it themselves. There is no such thing as a routine stop. You could have some Rastafarians at the end of the stop. A carload of Rastafarians could end up your best friend, okay, and one particular stop. And you could have a carload of, pure middle-class white Mormon-looking people, and the shit just all goes fucking sideways. Surprise, motherfucker, we're sovereign citizens and we're gonna blow your cop ass away. So there is no such thing as a routine stop. So I want the police to understand where they're coming from, and the precautions that they have to take to keep themselves safe. Everybody wants to make it home at the end of the day. That being said, okay, I just said a lot that advocated for police. I also have to balance the scale here. There is no shortage of police that definitely exacerbate the problem. They go looking for trouble. I had one commenter say in the live stream, do I go looking for cops? Do cops go looking for trouble when they clock in? We can't have apathetic police not actively policing. However, if you're going to be a cop that's just going to go looking to find trouble, and you're targeting minorities, then you're looking for trouble. Now, like with I believe it was Alton Sterling. Okay, I get it. You're just a dude. You're selling illegal bootleg stuff. I mean, who gives a shit about that? Hey, like I say, I don't care too much about the sports and entertainment, the Hollywood arm of the Jewish oligarchy starfish, because bootlegging hurts them. So I really don't give a shit. But dude, you had a gun, okay? You had a gun, and that's what caused your death. Your illegal possession of that gun, and your refusal to comply with orders, okay, and your frantic attempts of evading justice, because that's what this is all about. You've been caught, you're busted, and you're desperately trying to flee justice. Okay, so I'm more than willing to entertain trigger happy cops. Okay, trigger happy cops. Okay, but unfortunately, once you've got trigger happy cops as, one part of your recipe of disaster, and then you will have, your black criminal thugs, and both parties have gone wild. You have a lot of cops today. They'll say, "Oh, it was generations past." That mentality, it's not in today's policing. Total bullshit. Okay, it's there, it's present, and it's prevalent. Okay, it is a problem. Um, you cannot simply focus on one aspect, and quite frankly, that's what Black Lives Matter do. They want to talk about the injustice. They do it from a Captain Hindsight perspective. Um, you didn't have to do this. You could have done that. When shit unfolds, it really does happen in a matter of seconds. And basically, that's the whole point of today's video. Well, there's more point to it than you think. Unfortunately, I also want to, in addition to being fair to both black people and fair to law enforcement, I also am once again blowing the whistle on YouTube and its unjust censorship. Gone. Our comment is gone. They don't allow it. You can have a look at it again if you want. Okay. Once again, we see that there is no threat of violence. There is no slur. There is nothing. It is a fair and balanced comment. But of course, remember, our Jewish-controlled pre-authorized list. It does favor, you know, you know, that's what our Jewish-controlled oligarchy does. It's part of their conspiracy to disarm America. I am not a huge Second Amendment proponent. I'm not, I'm not a Second Amendment proponent. But I'm also not going to sit back and blindly, while it all happens. In other words, I don't want to be a boiled frog. I'm sure you guys are familiar with the boiled frog analogy. So just because something is under threat that doesn't directly have anything to do with me personally, let's see, have I got where did, because it's getting dark. And I need some light for my selfie circle. Well, you guys. Maybe if I kind of get okay, I don't want to be all in. But yeah, victim. Who's the victim? Who's not? You have now. I get it. They probably also want to talk about let's see. So, black people, they don't want to be profiled. I fully understand that. Profiling does lead to a lot of criminal behavior on behalf of police. But one thing's for sure is that I think we should be able to discuss this. And YouTube doesn't want you to discuss it. Or to be more specific, they don't want They don't want an actual discussion. They're definitely hell-bent on keeping your morality prepackaged. Silicon Valley is going to provide you with your opinion. Silicon Valley doesn't want opinions like mine going forward that are fair and balanced and utilize a great deal of critical deduction skills. So there you guys go. It's pretty twisted. But you should be. It's not, and I want to make this part clear. It's not just simply when I do these quick clips, which I guess isn't so quick. It's not just simply me harping about my comments being deleted. It's just a matter of time until your voice gets deleted. And there you go. This is this kind of deletion, okay? You know, this empty comment box, okay? This empty comment box is pretty much nothing but the end result. You know? A Nazi-controlled regime. This is what's going to happen to your comment when you no longer comply and comport with the pre-authorized talking points. The Nazi-controlled corporate media. I mean, I could totally do a whole episode over the irony of how our Jewish population, their ancestors, suffered mightily, suffered mightily under Nazi rule, the iron fist of Nazi. And it does indeed seem to like they have come away mimicking their abuser. It truly is remarkable. And it's now to the point where this oligarchy is now cracking down on any kind of true independent thought. So there you go. Total Control 871. And remember, critically think for yourselves. Never leave it to the Fuhrer.